Hey everyone, I'm Sam, an English teacher who helps students immerse themselves in English through my online free community. A few weeks ago, I posted a video describing my 3-day weekend, and that's what I'm going to do again today because I've had another 3-day weekend, this one a little bit more exciting. I want you to try your best to try and understand everything that I say here. I'm going to describe my weekend very normally and naturally. I'm not going to think about the pace that I'm talking about or the specific words that I'm using. I'm going to describe my weekend as I would do normally to a friend or a family member. If you are finding it difficult to follow, you can go in the description. You can find a link to my community, and there you will be able to access a transcript for these videos. So, a few weekends ago, I travelled to Bristol with my girlfriend and some of my friends because we were going to a music festival called Forwards. This was the first time I'd ever been to Bristol. It's a city in the south of England, very close to Wales. I've never actually been to a city in the south of England apart from London, so I was pretty excited to go. One of my friends has lived there for a few years. I've repeatedly told him that I would go visit him, but being a bad friend, I never managed to make it. But a few weeks ago, I did. On Thursday, I had a pretty normal day where I was teaching, and we left Manchester around 4 p.m., I think. And a group of my friends had already been. They were driving down in a separate car. They had the day off, so they went a little bit earlier. But me, my girlfriend, and two of my friends went down in the afternoon. I think the drive from Manchester to Bristol is about 3 hours, and that's how long it took. Lots of motorways. We even stopped off at a service station, which was pretty posh actually when it comes to service stations. Service stations are pretty miserable places in the UK, and these are places where you can stop and go to the bathroom or eat some fast food or go to a small shop and pick up a sandwich or a drink. And they have that airport feel with less excitement because when you go to airports, people are usually on holiday, so they may be in a good mood. But service stations are the complete opposite, and it's just full with dread, I think. However, the ones that we went to in Gloucestershire were pretty nice. The nicest services I've ever been to. They had a farm shop, they had like a lake outside in the back, and you could have a hot meal. So I had a cottage pie and I had a dessert with it as well, which was pretty good when it comes to service food. Once we arrived in Bristol, we went to the hotel that we were staying at. We chilled in there for about 30 minutes, and then, being British, the first thing we did was go to the pub. We wandered into the Bristol city centre. We found the pub that my other friends were drinking at. We met them, had a few drinks, and then one of my friends from back home who lived in Bristol came to meet us, and we stayed out until about 1 o'clock in the morning drinking. I had a little bit of a headache when it came to the evening, so when I woke up the next day, my headache was still there, but I took a few painkillers, and by the time we got to the festival, it had gone, which was good news. I wasn't too hungover. I think I was just a little bit dehydrated from the travel, but I'm sure the alcohol that I drank on the Friday night didn't help. The music festival was in a big field, as they are, as they all are in the UK, and we got a little bus, a little shuttle bus into the festival, so you could just pay for a ticket of all these buses to take you to the festival. It's pretty useful actually. So on that day, I think we went to breakfast. We went to a breakfast place that my barber recommended to me. It was pretty good. It was like an eco-friendly breakfast shop. It was called no, Boston Tea Party, and I think their whole brand is being sustainable and having sustainable ingredients. The breakfast was pretty nice. I was impressed. It was quite expensive though for just a normal breakfast. It was quite interesting being in Bristol because there was a TV show that I watched when I was younger called Skins, which is about teenagers and the problems that they have. And a lot of it was filmed in Bristol because it was based in Bristol. So you could see a few sites like this really big hill where infamously in one of the first seasons there was a scene where someone is late for college from their first day and they're kind of sprinting down this hill or skateboarding maybe, can't really remember. And yeah, we were there and we were walking up that hill. We actually had breakfast on that hill, so that was pretty cool to see. After breakfast we went back to the hotel. got changed, got ready for the festival, and then we made our way there. Got the bus and started to see some live music. At the start, because it was in the middle of the day, it was pretty chilled. So there's quite a few jazz acts, and some lady, can't remember her name, was playing the saxophone, and that was pretty cool. But we went to a Aperol Spritz kind of tent or like venue, or I don't even know what to call it. And we got some Aperol Spritz, and we proceeded to get pretty drunk, as you do at festivals. There were a few acts that I really wanted to see that day. The first being a lady called Romy. Really enjoyed her performance. Another one was a group called Floating Points, and their performance was pretty strange and didn't love it. They had a big crowd though. But yeah, for some reason, it didn't really connect with me or my friends. Felt like a bit of the music was random. Wasn't really what I was expecting, but oh well. That night, there was a performer called Fortet, who was a DJ that I've seen before. And he was probably the person that I was most excited about seeing. So we watched his DJ set, and it was really good, really fun. Really enjoyed it. Then afterwards, there was a rapper to finish off the day called Loyal Kana. He's a pretty big UK rapper. Even though I like hip hop and rap music, I don't love him as an artist. So a little bit disappointed to see him as the headliner, especially like a rap act, because there wasn't too many rap or hip hop artists at this festival. So for him to be headlining, I'm sure some people loved it, but wasn't exactly my first choice or my cup of tea. But is what it is. So we stayed for about half of his performance, but I was pretty tired by then, and we were all pretty tired. So we left halfway through and beat the traffic a little bit. And then we went back to the pub, had one glass of red wine, and everyone had one drink before going back to the hotel. And we also ate some pizza as well. So pretty unhealthy weekend, but we went to a festival. Because the festival started in the day, it meant that it finished quite early, around 12ish. So didn't even get back that late. We could stay in a hotel in a lovely big bed with blackout curtains, which was great because usually when you go to a festival, you're camping in a tent and you go to bed at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, if not later. And then you wake up with the sunlight or when people start talking, which is usually quite early. So we actually got good night's sleep, which made the festival experience a lot better because I'm 28 now. Don't really love having a few days in a row of not sleeping very well. So really appreciated staying in this hotel. And if I go to a festival again in the future, I think day festivals are pretty good, especially staying in a hotel. One Sunday, after we kind of rested and relaxed in the morning and recharged our batteries, we went for breakfast again. We went to a chain called Wetherspoons, which does provide pretty bad food, but it's a good price. So some people actually had an alcoholic drink with their breakfast. I didn't. I had some coffee because I'm pretty addicted to caffeine. And we went back to the hotel, got ready, got changed, got ready for the festival, went to the pub again, had a few pre-drinks, had a few beers, met my friend again very briefly. He wasn't coming to the festival today because he had work in the morning on Monday and we didn't. So pretty understandable that he didn't want to come to the festival on the Sunday because he came yesterday and he wanted to relax, especially not going to a festival the day before work. That would suck. Unfortunately, on the Sunday, as soon as we arrived and got off the bus, the heavens opened up and it started raining pretty badly. Even though in English people learn the phrase, it's raining cats and dogs, people never actually say this, but it was raining cats and dogs. What did I bring to the festival in terms of clothing? No jackets, no jumpers. I had shorts and a t-shirt on. It was in summer. It is in England, though, so pretty stupid of me. So we had to rush into the festival, got pretty wet, and buy ponchos in there, which is like disposable kind of waterproof jackets. The whole festival was pretty eco-friendly and green. However, as soon as the ponchos came, as soon as it started raining, everyone forgot about their sustainable goals and desires and bought disposable plastic jackets, me included. There was nothing else to do that day apart from embrace the rain, embrace the suck, except that It's only water, it's not going to hurt you. And the only thing to do was to get very drunk. And that's what we did. We bought lots of white wine. We took it in turns in like groups of four. We took it in turns to buy a bottle of wine and share it out. So probably had quite a bit of white wine that day, but we had so much fun. It was great, even though it was raining, even though the weather sucked and it wasn't ideal conditions, because we just embraced it and also got drunk. We had such a good time. It was better than the day before, actually. In terms of the music on Sunday, quite a few good acts. The highlight was definitely LCD Sound System, who finished the Sunday night. I hadn't really listened to too much of them before. They did have a song that was on FIFA, which I recognized, but hadn't really listened to them too much. But they really impressed me, and I've listened to them a lot since going to that festival. So overall, the festival was so much fun. It was really good to go and listen to some live music. I don't do that too often. I used to do it a lot more, but don't do it loads now because I don't really like getting drunk or going out too often, and going to music events sober it isn't quite the same, really. I'm sure there'll be people here who do that. I'm sure there'll be people who listen to this and go to music events sober and enjoy it. But for me, I think just letting loose a little bit and letting your hair down and having a few drinks is always better. So really enjoyed going to that festival. I hadn't been to a festival in like 2 years as well, maybe 3. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Bristol itself was a lovely city. It's very progressive and I kind of enjoyed the vibe, but it's down south. It's pretty expensive, more expensive than Manchester, I'd say. But still, if I was going to live anywhere in the UK outside of my hometown and Manchester, I'd probably only really think about Bristol, not really considering London. A little bit too big for me, but yeah, really enjoyed the weekend. We drove back on the Monday. We left pretty early. We went to this sandwich shop called Sandwich, and we got a sandwich before we left. And they were huge and it was delicious. But my stomach was a little bit fragile from all the alcohol that I drank the day before, so I only ate half of it. And then when I got home after that 3-hour-long journey, I ate the rest. And wow, that sandwich, I forgot about that sandwich, but that was really good. Okay, if you made it this far and you understood the majority of that, congratulations to you. Your English is great.